Hello everyone, I am your instructor Chen Jiangtian. Starting with this lesson, I will show you up-to-date, fast, and simple workflows for retouching portrait photography. For today's retouching, we rely on three Adobe applications. The first is Bridge BR, an image management tool. It lets us preview every file type and link seamlessly to Photoshop. I am currently running the 2022 release of Bridge. A double click on any image opens it instantly in a CR. My ACR version is 14.5. ACR is a free plugin bundled with Photoshop. Install Photoshop and ACR installs automatically. ACR stands for Adobe Camera Raw, hence the abbreviation. When studying post-production, always stay current. Newer versions pack more power and smarter algorithms. Thus, every demo today uses the latest release. Now let's dive into rapid retouching inside a CR. In the basic panel, we tweak exposure, contrast, texture, and saturation. Exposure governs mid-tone brightness. Contrast adjusts the tonal range between light and dark. Highlights control the bright but not the brightest areas. Whites target the absolute brightest points. The brightest fabric highlights fall under whites. We avoid blown highlights so fabric texture stays visible. Here, the dress is too bright, so we pull down whites and highlights. The dress now retains every thread and fold. Shadows affect darker but not the darkest areas. Facial shadows and mid-tone hair fall under shadows. Lift shadows to keep skin tones lively. Blacks target the absolute darkest pixels. Most images need only a tiny black tweak. That covers tonal adjustments. Texture, clarity, and dehaze all boost mid-tone contrast. They differ only in intensity and side effects. Dehaze is the strongest and also pumps saturation. We rarely use dehaze for portraits. Texture and clarity can soften skin imperfections. They reduce apparent roughness. Zoom in and you will see skin texture is harsher when these sliders are high. To soften and refine. Lower texture and slightly reduce clarity. The result is silkier skin. For everyday portrait color work, the basic panel alone is often enough. Advanced panels will be covered in later lessons. Let's diagnose this image. There are three main issues. First, the backdrop is wrinkled. Second, skin texture is coarse. Third, face and body appear slightly plump. In ACR, we can fix the first two. Let's tackle them now. First, to clean the backdrop. Click Select Subject. Photoshop now isolates the subject. Since we need the background, click Invert Mask. Now only the backdrop is selected. We tweak exposure, shadows, highlights. We brighten the wrinkles to a clean white. Lowering texture, clarity, and dehaze further smooths the paper. The backdrop becomes spotless. Alternatively, use the brush tool. Set the sliders to extreme values. Paint over any missed areas. The brush refines the mask. For studio whites or blacks, brightness adjustments are done the same way. Select Subject, Invert Mask, Adjust. Brightness tweaks are now isolated to the backdrop. Next, let's soften and refine skin. Create new mask. Select subject. The subject is again masked. Reset mask tool so no previous edits linger. All values return to 0. We now have a clean subject mask. For smoother skin, lower texture. Only the subject's texture is reduced. The backdrop remains in touch. This delivers quick, targeted softening. Toggle the mask eye icon to preview. We have just performed the fastest possible skin smoothing. Optionally, reduce clarity slightly. Brightness, color, and saturation can be tweaked here too. All edits stay within the mask. Only the white selected area is altered. That area is the isolated subject. To exclude clothing, choose Subtract Brush. Paint over garments. Clothing remains unaffected. No softening or tonal changes affect the wardrobe. We have completed a quick, isolated skin retouch. With masks alone, we have resolved backdrop wrinkles in coarse skin, facial and body volume issues. Require deeper work in Photoshop. Once ACR edits are final, click Open to jump into Photoshop. The image now opens inside Photoshop. For figure and face refinement, we first duplicate the background. The method is simple. Drag the background layer to the Create New Layer icon. You now have background copy. That's our safety layer. All refinements happen on this duplicate. For example, if the model appears short, go to Edit Free Transform. Hold Shift and stretch vertically. The figure instantly elongates. The face lengthens proportionally. Click the check mark or double click to commit. Either action finalizes the transform. Next, filter Liquify. Liquify lets us refine every local detail. Clicking Liquify opens a dedicated workspace. First, notice the Face-Aware Liquify panel. Here, Photoshop detects facial features automatically. We can resize eyes. Link the eyes for symmetrical scaling. To adjust both eyes equally, simply click the chain icon. Both eyes scale proportionally. If the subject has natural asymmetry, leave the chain unlinked. Adjust left or right eye independently. Eye height, width, and tilt can be linked or separated. All changes can be global or isolated. A distance controls the gap between the eyes. Nose height and width. Lip size, smile, and more. Facial recognition covers every feature. We can sculpt every contour, including overall face width. If sliders are not enough, use the forward warp tool. Enlarge the brush. Use the square bracket keys to scale the brush quickly. Manually push pixels to reshape the face. This gives ultimate control over facial geometry. The same applies to the body, waist slimming, hip lifting. When reshaping the torso, Use a larger brush. A small brush can create unwanted ripples. Beyond face and figure, we can address any bulging areas or flat zones and sculpt them gently. That covers basic liquify usage. It offers rapid face and body refinement. Click OK to apply the changes. Toggle the eye icon on the background copy to see before and after instantly. What we have covered are the simplest techniques for refining face and figure. For flawless, highly detailed results, you will need deeper mastery of liquify and warp. Further study will elevate your craft. That concludes today's lesson. See you in the next class. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our creative photography practicum. Today's session is a post-shoot debrief on our white gown creative project. After pre-production planning, hands-on shooting, and post-production, we have summarized the results and reflected on the entire workflow. Through guided practice, the final images met our goals. Continuous tweaks on set and in post made the work progressively better. Each iteration brought us closer to perfection. Issues encountered on set. First, planned white backdrop. While scouting, we stumbled on a discarded roll of white seamless paper, crumpled into a ball. We repurposed it as our backdrop, adding organic folds and texture for visual depth. An unplanned bonus. Second, achieving a pure white backdrop. Demonstrated an alternative lighting approach. Third, using white balance on white to introduce a warm cast. Fourth, classic posing cues. Headache, cheek-ache, backache gestures. Executed flawlessly for subtle, elegant lines. Foundational variations every photographer should know. Fifth, subject's fuller figure. Through post-production refinement, contours were sculpted into a smoother, more defined silhouette. Sixth, high-speed continuous shooting yielded more dynamic poses and stronger expressions. A staple technique in the digital era. It multiplies pose variety in seconds. Seventh, post-production demands mastery of the liquify tool to refine body lines and overall silhouette. These issues surfaced during the shoot. Details overlooked in pre-production. Through continuous practice, we must observe shifts and spot issues on the fly, building the agility to solve problems instantly. This debrief solidifies our craft and sharpens our skills.